a system that I don't really believe is humane and fair to a lot of people.
Hey everybody, I'm Adam. 7 years ago, I quit the American dream to travel to some of the most interesting places around the world.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me here in Lisbon, in Portugal. For those of you that have followed me and know my background to some degree, you'll know that I used to live in San Francisco for a long time. And in many ways, I still consider San Francisco to kind of be home, even though I haven't lived in the US for around 8 years now. The question that I get so often from people is, would you ever go back? Would you move back to the US? Yes or no? In classic fashion, people like to ask these kind of close-ended binary questions of like, is it a yes or is it a no? I wish I could say that I had a clear answer on this. I'm really not someone that is a absolutist or sort of an extremist in a way. I don't really like absolutes. And for me, going back to the US, it really depends. To be honest, when I get this question, and I actually get it quite a lot recently, it kind of comes down to, I always go back to the basic needs of life. Food, safety, shelter, housing, healthcare, education, transportation, infrastructure. These are all things that I really believe are basically non-negotiables. Do you have affordable, accessible, available, friendly, healthy, positive access to these basic needs? And to be honest, my general sentiment with the US, and it's been this way for a while, is for a large majority of the population that don't find themselves in the top 1% or in the top 10%, these things are not accessible to the masses. And I believe that's not right. I believe that's wrong. I believe these things were once upon a time more available, more accessible. And I don't necessarily want to be a part of a system or be supporting a system to the extent that I can avoid it. A system that I don't really believe is humane and fair to a lot of people. And my general sentiment, and I kind of go back to like my ancestors, which all came from Europe, whether from Italy, Sweden, the Netherlands, England, they all left their countries and their homes for a reason. They left, very likely, hopefully, not on a whim, not randomly, but on a good reason. They left because they believed they wanted a better life. They were pursuing something better. And they believed that the life that they were getting and the choices, the environment, the system, the government, et cetera, were not really giving and delivering to them the basic needs of life. And they believed a better life was out there for them. So kind of in classic fashion, I feel like I'm doing the same. And to be honest, I wish other people would kind of do the same as well. I think in a way, when our voices and our votes aren't necessarily heard anymore, then we can always vote with our feet, and we can always vote with our dollars and how we spend and where we spend our money. And for me, I'd rather do that in the EU and in a lot of European countries at this point. My point is that in one way or another, we do have more, perhaps, power than we think we have. Not always necessarily political power. Sometimes it's socioeconomic power. Sometimes it's our power as consumers. And also how we use our voice and where we end up living. And for me, one of the best ways I think I could give myself a better life, but also make a small little use of my limited power that I have, is to live in a country and within the EU where I feel that things are more fair and more just. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's exactly how it is here. I don't know fully how everything works in the EU, but I think we all have a chance to make a change in the world. And as that classic quote goes from Gandhi, be the change that you want to see. And I'd rather put my time, my energy, my life, my skills, my energy, my money into a place and into an environment, a culture, and a system that I think will respect human dignity in a better way. So that's what I'm doing, and that's kind of how I answer this question about would I ever move back to the US. I think a lot of things would have to change for me to want to live there or to even consider starting another life there, to lay some roots, to maybe start a family. A lot of things would have to change. I certainly hope that they do. And all the people that still live there deserve that change. And to the small extent that we can flex our power, I think we should to evolve and to create change. So thank you for being with me again. Friendly greetings to wherever you are. Friendly greetings from Portugal and Lisbon. And it's always a pleasure to see you and to be with you. And I hope I'll see you again soon. Take care.